Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Today we are going to be reviewing free writing strokes. I have a vertical surface for us to write on, and then I'm going to be showing you different ways we can practice our uppercase letters. So stay tuned. So I'm going to start off today with a little bit of a warm-up. We are going to be using a vertical surface, and I just have this taped to one of my cabinets in my house, just a plain poster board. I got 2 of these for $1 at the dollar store, and we're just going to be using plain markers. And working on a vertical surface helps promote shoulder stability, strengthen the shoulders. It incorporates crossing midline, and it also promotes your wrist being in an extended position when writing, which is very important for writing tasks. So we're going to start out, we're going to do some vertical lines. We're just going to start at the top and go all the way down. Start at the top and go all the way down. We'll do one more. We're going to be making a cross now. So we're going to come down. And we're going to go across. We'll do one more. We're going to come down and go across. The next line we're going to be making, and I just turned my poster board over, we're going to be making horizontal lines. And if you wanted to, you could always make dotted lines on the paper and have your child trace them. So this one is a great one for crossing midline because we're reaching across our bodies to make the line. Now we're going to be doing some diagonal lines. We're going to go in this direction first. So this is a great warm-up activity for learning how to do our letters, because all of these free writing strokes are in all of our letters that we're going to be writing. Now we're going to be doing the other side. I switched to a black marker just so you could see it a little bit better. Another fun activity that you can do to encourage fine motor skills and to also get the motor planning for writing our writing lines is you could put stickers on the line. So I just have some stickers of animals here. And this is a fun way to incorporate fine motor skills. You're also working on your shoulder range of motion and shoulder stability by having them reach. It's a good visual motor skill because you're having to look down at the stickers and then look back up at the lines. Let's see, we'll do a squirrel here. Maybe we'll do a couple of dinosaurs. You know, keep it fun. Whatever your child's interested in is something that you can do if they like dinosaurs or if they like animals or... Okay. So I'm going to stop there, but obviously if you wanted to, you could go the whole line and you could go down and do the diagonal lines with the stickers. Just an additional activity that you could participate in. So the first way we're going to be writing today is we're going to be using a mini chalkboard. I believe I did get this at the dollar store, and this is optional. You don't have to use this, but I thought this was a fun way of practicing our writing skills. And today we're going to be focusing on uppercase letters. We're going to be doing our frog jump letters. A frog jump letter starts at the left-hand side and it goes to the right. So this is a good way for practicing our letters so that children do not have reversals. So we like to start off with our frog jump letters when learning. So I have here these small little pieces of chalk, and I kind of like them broken up like this because it promotes a nice tripod grasp with an open web space. So you always want to promote this type of grasp when writing. So we're going to start off with the letter F. So we're going to start off on our left side of the chalkboard. We're going to do a line down. We're going to make, I like to call this a stand tall line. And then we're going to make 2 lying down lines. So that's the letter F. And you could have your child actually erase the board with their finger, because it's another way of promoting the proper formation of the letters. So now we are going to do a letter E. So we're going to start off with the stand tall line. Then we're going to do 3 lying down lines. Coming up, I'm going to show you some letters using a whiteboard. Another way that we can practice our writing skills is using a whiteboard. And the one I have is just this mini one, but if you have a bigger one at home, that would be great to use. I like the ones that look almost like an easel, because it's a good way of promoting, you know, like writing on a vertical surface, kind of how we talked about before, how it promotes shoulder strengthening and wrist extension, which are all really good skills that we need for when we're doing our writing. So the next letter we're going to do is going to be letter D. And I'm actually going to show you how we can write them in boxes, kind of taking it a step up. So one thing we can do, I have 2 boxes here. I'm going to show you in a blue marker. You can make a dot at the top that shows you where we're going to start. We're going to make a tall line all the way down. We want to make sure that our lines always start at the top and end at the bottom. And we are going to make a big rounded line like this. So let's do that again. We're going to make a dot at the top. We're going to come all the way down and make a curved line. So writing in boxes like this is sort of like an introduction to writing within a writing boundary. So it's going to help your child later on when they have to write on a line and for writing sentences. Now we're going to do another letter. I'll show you again in these 2 boxes. And parents, if you want, you could do one in a box and have your child copy it in the second box. We're going to be doing letter P, because remember, it starts at the left side and it ends on the right side. So we have our starting point, top left corner, come down and around. Come down and around. I like to call these curved lines clock lines, because when you're drawing them, it's almost like you're going to draw a clock. Okay, the last letter we're going to be doing, got 2 more boxes, we're going to be doing letter B. Okay, so we're going to do our standing tall line and our 2, now we have 2 clock lines. Make another one here, standing tall line, and 2 clock lines. So now we're going to be using just a plain white piece of paper, and I made 3 writing lines to write on. So this is something that you can do at home. And I'm going to make a start line in green. I'll do that for all 3. And we want to do a stop line in red. So this is going to show your child where the line begins and where the line ends. So the first letter we're going to be making is going to be letter R. Now I'm going to be demonstrating with a black marker today, but at home you could use a pencil, you could use a regular marker, you could use crayons, anything that you have. And I'm going to put a dot at the top for where I want you to make your letters. So we're going to start out with 4 letter R's. So we're going to do down, stand tall line, then we're going to do 1 clock line and 1 diagonal line. Do another one, a stand tall line, a clock line, and a diagonal line. Okay, and we'll do one more. And I left a little bit of room at the end because this is something that you could try with your child. Try to show them a letter that isn't appropriate, and then they could pick out and tell you why it's not formed properly. For example, you can make the letter R going outside of the line, or you can make it floating so that it's not touching the top or the bottom. And this is a way to demonstrate to your child what you don't want to do when you're writing. So the next letter we're going to do is we're going to do the letter N. So we're going to put a dot at the top for where we want to start, and this time we're going to make 5. So we're going to come down, do a stand tall line, a diagonal line, and another stand tall line. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show you is you can, as a tactile cue, you could use these wiki sticks. I think I had demonstrated them once before to give you a tactile cue for where you want your letters to start and where you want them to end. So you could kind of put them on the lines like this. This is a good trick for writing. That's something you could do. You could also, if you wanted to, use a highlighter, and you could highlight your lines as a cue for where you want to start and where you want to end your letters. So the last letter we're going to do is going to be letter M. So we're going to do a standing tall line down, a diagonal line just to about the dotted line, then a diagonal line up, and then another standing tall line down. If you wanted to, you could actually have two dotted lines, or two dots here. So you could do a standing tall line down, then a diagonal line down, then a diagonal line coming up to the other dot, and a standing tall line down. So that's what I'm going to do for here too. So we have our two dots. We're going to do a stand tall line down, a diagonal line down, diagonal line up, and then another line down. And if your child does a good job on the letters, whichever one is your favorite or looks the best with legibility and formation, you could give them a star. You could put a star on whatever letters you like the best. So that's another thing to give you some incentive. So this is something that you could do at home, practicing your frog jump letters. I just wanted to go over a few different writing papers that I've used in a school setting. So this is one of them. This is just plain highlighted paper, and as you can see, there's a highlighted line which is a really good line for your placement of your lowercase letters. It shows you where your lowercase letters go. So that's what I like to use this type of highlighted paper for. This is by the company called Foundations, and I really like this paper because it has a line in the sky, and your letters go from the sky to the grass, and some letters go underground. So I really like how it has different pictures here to give you a good cue for writing your letters or your words. This is another great type of paper. I just got this off of like Teachers Pay Teachers, but you could always make your own. It's just plain lines paper, and as you can see, there's lines that separate the paper, so it's really good for spacing your words out. This is another good thing you can do. Then there's always just your typical graph paper. You could write words or letters or numbers, even sentences, and it's also another really good tool for your spacing of your letters and your words. This is another type of paper I have. It's by the brand called Channing's, and this one is from Quick and Neat Writing Pad from 1st to 3rd grade. But I really like, if you open up the book, it shows you first like how all your letters are supposed to be formed. It has this green line, which is a good, the shading, it's a good cueing for where your lowercase letters go. So here's just an example of what the paper looks like and what some of the words and a sentence would look like when writing. A couple of really good websites that you can go on are yourtherapysource.com and the OT Toolbox. Those are some really good resources for all different types of worksheets for handwriting activities, for occupational therapy. It's where I get a lot of my resources from. And another place you can go to print out some paper if you want is called printablepaper.net. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you for another video. Have a great day. Bye.